Welcome to Facts TV News, where everything is true. 1 dead, 5 wounded in separate St. Anne crashes. 1 person is dead and at least 5 others are seriously injured, following 2 separate crashes in St. Anne in the past 24 hours. The latest incident took place along the Queens Highway shortly after 5 on Wednesday morning. 5 people were injured in that crash, which involved a Toyota Mark X and a minibus. It's reported that the fire brigade had to be called to the scene to extricate the wounded person from the mantled vehicles before taking them to hospital. Hours earlier, at around 3:30 p.m., 64-year-old Desmond Rose of Middle Street Party in St. Anne was killed in a 2-vehicle collision along the Miami Bay Main Road. It's reported that Rose was a passenger in a motor car that was traveling towards Ocho Rios. The driver allegedly made a U-turn in the path of a white BMW motor car, which was traveling at the same direction, resulting in the collision. Rose sustained injuries and was taken to hospital, where he succumbed. Man-woman shot dead in Spanish Town gun attack. A man and a woman were shot dead by gunmen at Weary Lane in Spanish Town, St. Catherine, Wednesday afternoon. They have been identified as 31-year-old Orlando McGregor and 45-year-old Marlon Simmet from Old Harbour in the parish. Another man was injured in the attack. It was reported that around 2:30 p.m., 2 men armed with firearms stepped onto the roadway from behind a zinc fence and opened gunfire on a white Toyota Pro Box in which the 3 victims were traveling. The police said McGregor received multiple gunshot wounds to his face, head, right side of the chest, neck, back, and left shoulder. Simmet sustained injuries to her chest, right arm, and abdomen. The injured man was shot in his left knee. All injured individuals were rushed to hospital, where McGregor and Simmet were pronounced dead on arrival, and the injured man treated. Police identify man killed in Manchester gun attack. Police have identified a man who was shot dead by a gunman while he was exiting a taxi in Albion, Manchester, Wednesday afternoon. He is 26-year-old Corey Simpson, a resident of Ballards Valley in St. Elizabeth. According to a police report, about 12:30 p.m., Simpson disembarked a chartered taxi in Albion, just south of Manchester, when 3 gunmen attacked him and opened fire, hitting him. The taxi driver, while fleeing the scene following the hail of bullets on his passenger, was also shot by the gunmen. The injured men were taken to hospital, where the taxi operator was admitted and Simpson was pronounced dead. Simpson was accused of housebreaking and burglary in Manchester and St. Elizabeth. 94 people charged for drug-related offenses between January and March. 94 people were arrested and charged for drug-related offenses between January and March of this year. Police Commissioner Major General Anthony Anderson made the disclosure during a press conference. He noted that over 1,500 kilograms of cocaine and more than 4,000 grams of ganja were seized during the period. Commissioner Anderson said a significant quantity of guns was seized during the first quarter of this year.
As our intelligence capacity increases and our collaboration with our key partners locally and overseas improve, we are already seeing the benefit. In the first quarter of 2023, there were drug seizures totaling 1,563 kilograms of cocaine and 4,204 kilograms of ganja. 94 persons were arrested and charged for drug-related offenses over the period. There were also significantly 2 major gun seizures at the port, a shipment of 22 guns in January and 59 in February, taking the total seizures for the quarter to 225. This represents the highest seizure since 2017. Additionally, 238 persons were arrested and charged for gun-related offenses over the period.
Dispute between Clarendon brothers leave younger sibling dead, other in custody. An alleged long-standing dispute between 2 brothers in Tollgate, Clarendon, left the younger of the 2 siblings dead and the other in police custody, following an argument on Tuesday. The incident occurred around 10 a.m. at a shop in the community of Decoy. Residents identified the deceased as Anthony Smichael, a painter and construction worker. Alleged eyewitnesses says Anthony, the younger brother, was at a shop purchasing a phone card when the elder brother entered and an argument developed between them. During the altercation, the older brother allegedly stabbed Anthony in the chest. An uncle of the deceased told reporters that he was not a violent person. He appealed to relatives facing conflict to try and resolve them amicably. Meanwhile, another uncle of the two brothers said the entire community is grieving.
He's not a violent person like that. I don't hear him of people get into it like that. Harming each other like that. You would have mouth to mouth like that. But it's not like that. He's a good little kid. It's unfortunate, very unfortunate. I can't believe this incident. It's for no reason. He's not that type of kid for, your own brother to inflict that type of fatality. I mean, I still cannot put my hands around why, the reason behind this. And what could have actually happened for your brother to do that to another brother? There shouldn't be any reason for your brother to do that to another brother. As young people, they need to be more constructive in their thinking. When they gather, they talk positive, man, and think positive, man. And try to discuss things that would benefit them, not the negative, and doing the negative that in the end profits them nothing. This type of thing only bring conflicts in the end because nobody is benefiting from nothing. These things can be avoided, man.
They are my nephews. I grieve about it. All my family grieves. The community grieves. Because in any family, in any ways of things we look at it, I think a big brother should protect their smaller brother. You should give your life to save your smaller brother, not taking their lives. And when I look at it that way, and I see where this country going, and we're not just even a country, but the whole world as well. Things keep happening like this. Family member killing family member. Growing up, I never used to see things like this happen. And going around, and every day your family member killed a family member and all of that stuff. And I just came here I'm visiting. I'm living in the United States, and I just visiting here for a couple of weeks. I just came here 2 days ago, and I never came here for something like this. To come here and to be in a situation like this where everything is upside down.
Police report continued reduction in crimes. Jamaica continues to see a reduction in major crimes so far this year. Commissioner of Police Major General Anthony Anderson says crimes were down by 22% for the first quarter of this year. He notes that murders were down by 21%, while shooting declined by 13%. Commissioner Anderson says gang-related murders went down, while murders from interpersonal conflicts went up.
At the end of March 2023, that's the end of the quarter that we just completed, major crimes were down by 22% when compared to last year. Murders were down by 21%. Shootings were down by 13%, rapes were down by 47%, robberies were down by 32%, and break-ins down by 11%. We, however, continue to see a shift in the attribution of murders, with a reduction in the gang-related murders relative to interpersonal conflicts. As at March 31st again, gang conflicts accounted for 67% of these murders. Interpersonal conflicts accounted for 22%, while 4% occurred in the furtherance of other criminal acts, and 7% are still being determined. As we continue to resource the force, implement our policing plans, and work closer with the communities, we have no doubt that people will begin to feel safer.
658 charges laid against 353 people under the new Firearms Act. 658 charges have been laid against 353 people for offenses under the new Firearms Act. This according to Commissioner of Police Major General Anthony Anderson, who was speaking during a virtual press conference on Tuesday. The Commissioner said the Constabulary continues to work closely with the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions DPP on the matters.
We continue to use the new Firearms Prohibition, Restriction and Regulation Act to good effect. Since the passage of the new legislation in November last year, 658 charges have been laid against 353 persons for various offenses under the Act. We continue to work closely with the Office of the DPP to secure convictions in these matters. Recently, JCF detectives participated in a workshop with the Director of Public Prosecutions and her team, where the requirements under the Act were established and a common understanding arrived at. The increased law enforcement action against the entire criminal ecosystem involving prohibited firearms is a critical component of our overall fight against crime. By taking illegal firearms off the streets, we are making our communities safer and more secure.
Please remember to subscribe, like,